Yo, back for another episode of On the Table Podcast. I've manipulated my friends to come here again. Okay,
I was threatened.
kudos to me. My name is KO. This is,
Dre.
and that's,
Bro.
and that's.
JD.
We almost lost the mic, but we did not
Almost
lose it.
So sorry.
So we're here to talk about some topics, which is usually what we usually do when we get around each other because we don't see each other a lot. So we usually cover a lot of different things and just have long conversations. And I thought, why not record that? So if you guys have anything to say, how are you guys doing? First and foremost.
Tired, drained,
Sound
but
good.
trying to get shit done, I guess. So.
Well, I'm personally doing pretty damn
That's life.
terribly since you done wrote me into doing all this talking and shit. You got me. Oh, I'm sorry. Can we? Are we cussing? In this?
Please
Oh, snap.
don't cuss.
Okay.
Oh,
Do
okay.
not
I didn't know
cuss
that.
because
Well, okay. Well, since
I
you now
wanted to
have
reach
bleep
a
out
broader
that
audience.
last thing, then I'm going to refrain from doing any more bleeps from
So-
here on out.
So are we starting
Bleeps.
over again? Or?
No, that's not.
No. I can cut that out. I can.
I don't think that
I can
really
bleep
is
that.
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Plus, it feels authentic.
Yeah.
I think the people may enjoy it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you think that since all this COVID stuff is happening, what sport you think is gonna come back first?
That's a good question. I feel like-
Supposedly, a bunch supposed to start back this month. Like, isn't baseball supposed to start back this month, Justin?
What'd you say?
I said, is it? I said, is it baseball supposed to come back this month?
Yeah, something
So,
like that.
That's supposedly to see if that happens.
I have not been paying attention to any of it.
Like any
I
of
feel
the
like
sports world.
UFC
Any of the
and
sports
fighting
world,
is gonna
like,
come back.
a little
first,
bit
and
with
it kind of
football.
already is.
Wait, say that again.
UFC and fighting is gonna come
Oh
back.
yeah, didn't that try to?
And
yeah.
it already is. Like they already had a couple
Oh
fights.
yeah. And just like an empty stadium.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's crazy, really. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it's just going to be whatever you can limit contact in. So I kind of feel like
What you
racing.
mean? UFC,
is
them
going to
niggas
be-
is fighting. Them niggas is trading
Well,
blood.
yeah, but it's only two people though.
Yeah,
So
you're
that
right.
that's a pretty low. If you could just take the risk and say like, all right, so what's the chance of me getting it from one person instead of like another game where you got to interact with like
And
35
I'm pretty sure they all had to
people.
be
Mhm.
like checked and tested before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I would take that risk versus like a team sport versus like football where I gotta be on the field with hundreds of people walking through the locker rooms and all that.
Mm.
I'll pass.
So that should be interesting how they try to do
But
that.
is it? I don't know if it's crushing any athletes like that. Like, have you heard of any?
Oh yeah,
Athletes with
I've
COVID?
heard of them.
Oh, yeah,
Oh
Zeke
yes, I've heard
supposedly
a
had
lot
it.
of them.
I mean, they had it, but
COVID.
they didn't like get Did they get hospitalized?
Oh, they
I
got
don't know, but
hospitalized.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
They
Yeah, they
said
said-
they had it.
Yeah.
So it was bad.
What that nigga said.
They said.
So you don't think they had it?
I don't know. But I definitely. Shit.
I don't know.
Okay.
Nah.
Go-
It get tricky.
Not
Yeah,
convinced.
it just get tricky. You feel me? Like, don't believe everything you read in tabloids for real, cause it get. It's just
What?
levels to everything. Not saying that I know everything, but nah, shit.
Okay. So, have we talked about Kendrick?
Oh, I guess.
We have not.
Yeah. No.
We so we had to start over.
Yeah.
So I kind of forgot that we mentioned that we would start talking about Kendrick and about his EP he dropped a couple weeks ago.
Allegedly.
Allegedly that I was not aware of.
Negative. Neither was I. And
Anybody else
On an alleged YouTube account.
on a alleged YouTube? but who did this? Somebody recently dropped the album and took it back off of YouTube or something.
that happened?
Allegedly.
Yes, I forget who it was. I want to say Childish Gambino or it was somebody big like that. Like they dropped the album and they took it right back. It was like for like one night or something.
Was it? Nah, I ain't heard nothing about that.
Yes,
That's fucked up.
and it was somebody who you would want to hear some music from,
Mm.
but I cannot remember who.
But it was in that category of like Childish Gambino.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I don't know.
Yeah, man, I've just been listening to mountain yodeling and metal.
Who?
That's really about it. So I'm just mountain yodeling. Oh yeah, Tibetan.
Who's your
Tibetan yodeling?
Oh, that.
Oh, bro, and metal,
Tibetan.
and then the combination of Tibetan yodeling with metal music. That amazing. That's what I've been on since this whole quarantine.
I
Trying to
ain't
get
heard
battle
that.
ready.
So
Yeah, this is the
man,
first
I
for me
gotta-
too.
every day.
I gotta get on top of that, bro. Yeah, that'll get your mind right.
That's
Is it- is it-
That's probably a cold
Can you give us like a
You feel me?
preview? What
Like,
does it sound
is
like?
it on some
That's a
Beethoven type
cold
stuff or?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Did y'all hear about the Beethoven's Black?
Oh,
Oh,
did you?
yes,
Yes.
I heard that.
Yes.
That is so crazy.
I heard.
This nigga's a death and still got rid of him. You black. Who you could? I try to hear that.
So that's like legit.
Oh no, that's legit.
So it's confirmed.
Uh,
Beethoven was black.
That's
Oh
crazy.
no, not the.
That's what I was talking about, motherfucker.
Yeah, I was more concerned about that.
You heard it here first on the Table
I
podcast.
definitely was more concerned.
He's
about
black.
that.
Let me not spread the lies. Beethoven was probably
Spread
white
the-
as paper.
I wish I had a drop that was like Rob, Rob, Rob. Like, oh, Rob.
Oh snap!
Oh, and it's yodeling.
Yes.
Yodeling?
Yes, my bad. I cannot spell. So
Wait, can we even listen to this right now?
We
can
gotta
skip
laugh.
past this.
I
We
have
can
to
do
laugh
like
on this
a,
episode
we
because
can just
last
skip past
episode it was just, it wasn't bad. It was just,
Oh yeah, because you
talking
can
about
edit
deep
it.
stuff.
You know, the last video that we did, it seemed like
all right,
it
so
was edited.
There was
I'm
a
gonna
cut.
show them
Yeah.
really
Uh-huh.
quick.
It was.
Uh-huh.
Oh, damn, that was just a long video.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, one of
I
y'all
put a
videos
short
was
one
like
on there
3
too.
hours.
Yeah, that first one I'm talking about.
Yes.
Like,
I was
God.
like, boy,
Yes.
marathon.
We just stopped. We just got on one topic and stayed there like the last
Hey,
2 hours.
Hey, it's good combo.
Now here we are listening to Tibetan yodeling metal
I forgot all about this.
all around the world.
All around the world. So this is what you listen to in your free time. That's what you saying.
Oh, bro, this is what I listen to during work.
Oh. Well, you say get your mind right, so I guess
Get your mind right.
I'm waiting to hear this.
it's about to be soon.
Oh.
Like the build up is crazy.
It really is, though.
They really on some warrior shit.
The Who band.
Oh. Okay, guys, don't guys.
Dang, 34 million views. See that?
34 million.
You see that?
Dang.
I didn't know it
Really
was that
out here,
popular.
I didn't notice that at first.
Really be out here, bro.
Yeah, where we at? Where we been?
Look at that! Look at that 643K to 10 ratio.
Not Tibetan yodeling.
Dang, somebody showed me like the breakdown of like how much it costs. Like how many views you need to get to reach a certain amount of money and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot all about it. I forgot what it was. So
Bro, you got a Harley.
Ooh. Didn't turn
It was
that down.
not on mute.
is it both?
Maybe.
Or is it?
You want to put that on mute while we're playing the video? Because we're going to cut past this anyway. Everything we're saying is going to be cut past this in the background right now, so we can talk and everything.
Yeah.
Like without recording. Do you want to put this? Because I'm not too sure what to do.
I don't know how to do it either. I think you can go to like notifications, go to the search thing,
My bad.
go up to the top, and there's like a little.
Yes. Notifications. Do not disturb. I guess it would just be your iMessages. Yes. Play sound. No, don't do that shit anymore. See, so he'll kind of do like that Yoda like sound like in his singing. Yeah, bro, this is what I'm on 24/7, man. This
I forgot. Yeah, like this is like for real.
no, bro.
This shit is crazy.
Like every now and then, like I listen to this song, like it was kind of dope. Like it does have a dope feel to it. It's a weird video.
Yes.
So it's like you have to put this in a playlist of other things like it to then make that easier to transition to. Yeah, but this ain't some shit I just like on a Tuesday. I'm just like, oh yeah, let me just go listen to this to
them being Asian completely messing me up to start off with.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. And like North of Chinese.
It's
Genghis Khan's
an experience.
The stuff that's in this world that people don't even know about, but is apparently popular.
It's like fringe.
Possible.
All right, but anyway,
we can't play the whole thing. They be like, all right, they just gonna play the whole video. Oh, all right, no clip. Like, we'll siphon some of that your viewership. Thank you.
Oh shit!
Niggas is really.
Oh, that's good.
It's a lot of leather. Like a hot day out there.
It's surprisingly a lot of Harleys.
It's a lot of Harley.
I'm so surprised. All right. Anyway.
Okay.
Back to this Kendrick.
Yes, about Kendrick. If this is true and that is a project that he just dropped, then I'll be happy because I won't be happy because I feel like they should drop more often. Why do these guys drop so slow?
I remember you talked about that. You said you would drop. But how many songs did you say?
Like at least.
You say 4 songs a month.
At least 4 a month, okay? If you're a musician and you make music, that's not that's not insane, bro. A month? That's so many. That's like 6-7 weeks. That I mean.
But what if it's got like a year's worth of effort in it?
I'm not saying a full orchestra and you gotta bring in a bass player to play the bass line, and I'm saying just something.
But what if I need
a tidbit
that?
of?
What if I need the what is it? Soprano. What's the high key person? The alto. What if I need like some Peruvian child to play my alto? So I gotta fly him out at $200K a year. I'm sorry, that's what I need. I'm Kanye. What?
I feel like you gotta be careful with that because that'll probably push your dates back. Or push, and people are gonna. There's new acts dropping every day, so people's attention spans is being divided every day. So it's like,
that's true.
Hey, you're becoming less and less relevant by the second,
What do you think you really need to be like?
But not Kendrick.
I get you. What do you think people really need to trying to be or need to be like that ultra relevant to drop that much?
Nah, I feel like,
or like
okay.
Drop 4 songs a month and stuff.
I feel like you should drop 1 album a year and like at least 2 songs a month or 1 song a month. Something. It like a whole year will go by and these guys don't drop nothing. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, and then they'll drop like a 5-song EP or something and be like, here, take that. And it's like, I'm a fan. I like your music. Like, why are you being stingy?
I feel that, but I also kind of feel like I don't feel entitled to the art in a way. So I just kind of like,
I'm gonna accept what they give.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take that. But it's like, dang, like, you're in a studio every day.
I wish there were artists like Kendrick would do like voiceovers on other people's songs and stuff like that.
At least that, you'll hear him on somebody else's album or something. It's like, all right, he's at least out there working and stuff. But nothing. Like, and then they'll just drop an album, or like they'll like work up the anticipation for their album. I feel like they do that because they use their album and they tour, and then they just play like 4 or 5 songs from the album, and they just keep doing that.
Because they get that's where their mainly money comes from, is their tours and merchandise, not the album streams and stuff like that.
That's secondary.
For the label, yeah. That's probably another reason, probably why him specifically, don't really release albums like that. Because he also gets paid on his own for his features.
I'm not trying to force somebody to do something that they don't make any money off of. I'm not trying to force niggas to toil and make music.
Dang.
Back to that record field.
If it's that way for you, then dang, it's like you a musical slave.
Bro, have you seen like K-pop documentaries like about like how crazy the restriction of their management and stuff gets? Like it really can get like slavery. That's why for me I'm just like, I'm kind of like if like you
Chris
can
Brown,
make
that
it
dude works
in the industry right now, if you can make all the money that you want for your life,
for yourself,
and not do that much work, honestly, more power to you.
Yes.
Like I envy, because there's so many people who work so much so that they can achieve far less. So I'm just like, do what you want, my guy. I hope.
But I feel like every once in a while there's this feeling that wells up inside me, and I have to make a beat or I have to make some art, and I feel like that happens to them too, but they just do it and then they just don't show anybody, or they just show us the other artists, and it's like, hey man, just put that on a little EP or something, or drop 2 songs a month.
Isaiah Rashad too.
Like God.
Isaiah Rashad and Absol were gone.
I feel like they're too hard on themselves sometimes. Like they just want to drop the best of the best, and it's like sometimes we want to hear just to pass the time, just drop some mid.
I get what you said too.
Come on, just put that shitty song out.
Yeah, not a shitty one, but not the best in their eyes, because they probably just.
Well, Kendrick gave us a whole album of that unmastered whatever thing. So.
I like that. Like,
that's basically what that was. What you were talking
about. Oh
yeah,
that's actually some of my favorite Kendrick songs are off of that album.
Really?
Yeah, like track 5.
I don't remember them like that, but
I really
we can play music and I'll just mute it, but it's like we'll just be sitting here and I'll have to cut it, and we'll just cut to us talking again. But yes, I agree.
Okay. Shall we move on to Jada, our second topic?
Yes. So, it's it's everywhere right now. If you have a Twitter account or if you have any type of social media account.
What is the full story? I didn't know the full story. It is long. I just know the snippet of it.
I don't really understand either, because I feel like, well, why is he coming out right now and saying these things? Which he's saying is.
Do you want to do like a summary of it, of just like
who knows the most about
gist of what's going on?
Yeah. Can you give us a summary?
Rough version of what's going on. I don't know. I guess so far. So who is this artist who came out who was talking about he had a relationship with Jada?
It's Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah.
Let's be
Jada Pinkett Smith.
Let's say her full name.
I don't know how to say this guy's name. Allegedly. A artist claims.
According to August Alsina, and on Angela Yee's podcast video, said that he had a sexual relationship with Jada Pinkett Smith, and it was happening for years, and that he had Will Smith's approval. But today, Will Smith said that no, nada, or a representative for Will Smith said that none of that's true.
And a representative.
The whole thing, or him having
for Jada, and Jada said that too. So
they're
both
true.
denying it.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. I'm not convinced. I feel like I don't know.
Crazy.
He could be lying. I want to believe facts and evidence like I would if, But what's even being said? It's like at the time he must have been legal, or he had. I think he was like above age, which is like, is there even statutory rape for like a woman on a
How old is he?
Yeah.
Kid? Okay.
Is that how far this went back? Is it potentially when he was?
I don't know.
A child?
That's what I'm unsure about. I'm like,
can we look up how
is she in danger of something? Can she be?
August
Alsina?
August Alsina, yeah.
I don't know how long this goes back. I just remember seeing on the Red Table Talk like snippets of it on Twitter and on Instagram where people were talking about it, and I'm like, I would just see it and I would be like, oh, well, okay, but I never paid attention to it because I'm not his target audience. Yeah.
2792.
So he's a year younger
yeah, we're the same
me.
age.
Yeah.
27.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, so he was definitely of age. I mean, unless way back. But,
yeah, I don't think I don't think it went that far back, but.
Yeah, I guess for me it just feels like kind of just like a non-issue. Like there's with the limited information that I have, there's some natural questions that kind of flow from that to me. It's like, why is the guy talking right now? I guess I feel like the media kind of has their angle of why they would sell it, but at the same time, I'm like curious, like why this guy specifically is doing it. There's a bunch of different reasons he could be. I mean, at best, it's just somebody out in a poly relationship or a infidelous relationship that I don't know. I guess it's just not the biggest thing.
Is it infidelity? Because the internet says that they're in an open relationship, is what I've always thought.
It could be. I mean, just because you're in an open relationship doesn't mean that every relationship that you're in, yeah, exactly.
Often is.
Exactly. The internet just could be wrong. And just because you're in an open relationship doesn't mean that every relationship you engage with is okay in that relationship. Mm-hmm. If they have some kind of like certain rules or something like that, and she went for a person she's not like supposed to, then it would be infidelity. It's like as soon as you violate the specific rules of that relationship, you're then cheating. Mm-hmm. So that, like, I'm just like, I don't know, but for me, in a lot of ways, I kind of don't care. I'm sorry.
It's just juicy to me because of the age gap. That's why it's interesting to me. Okay. Because if the roles were reversed, I feel like society would have more of a problem with it. But because it's a guy and an older woman, it's like, hey man, yeah.
I kind of feel you, but I kind of feel like it would have to be a bigger age gap than it is right now.
What is the age gap? Like, how old is she?
I don't know which singer it is. I think it's Brian McKnight or something. But one of them old singers is dating a super young woman, like who just turned 21 or something. Marcus Houston. There you go. See, really? I knew somebody who knew about it. Marcus Houston's dating a super young girl, and everybody's mad about it. So that proves my point right there. It's like,
how old is Jada?
Voila. Huh?
How old is Jada?
Jada's like 48 or something.
Let's look facts.
48.
48 on the dot.
Never
put that away.
Never
doubt my wisdom.
See, only spouse is Will Smith, 1997.
What if it said open relationship? I would have been like,
boyfriends, known boyfriends, alleged boyfriends,
hey,
known girlfriends.
That'd be crazy.
I would have been like,
Wikipedia. She was in Magic Mike.
I didn't know that either.
Oh, she was in XXL. That's the second one.
Still,
I didn't even know there was a part.
I didn't know there was a part 2.
I never saw it either, so that's why I'm just like, oh, okay. But
what the hell?
Yeah, apparently, Childish Gambino's in that one.
What the hell?
Or excuse me, Donald Glover.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know nothing about that. That's crazy.
Let's take a trip down the Magic Mike XXL Wikipedia page real quick.
Not.
What the hell?
These niggas.
Yeah,
hitting dance move with oil on their chest and shit.
Niggas slipping, sliding up the chicks. Anyway,
yeah, she got a breakthrough because of the Nutty Professor. That's crazy. They consider Nutty Professor her breakout movie.
My favorite role of her is in The Matrix.
Wasn't she in something before that though?
Yeah, but they consider. I said she was in Menace to Society, but they consider the Nutty Professor to be that breakout movie.
Wait, no,
like,
really.
Box office.
Tell me another role.
Eddie Murphy in
Set It Off. Was she in Set It Off?
Oh, I think that came out after.
Was she in Set It Off?
Yeah, that came out after.
What does it say? Oh yeah, Set It Off, 1996.
I never saw that.
If it was gonna be anyone, it should.
I think that's the same year though.
It is. So Eddie,
those two roles were just enough to.
She got it. Yeah, that's crazy.
What was Set It Off about?
What?
The bank robbery. Click it. It's about a women bank robbery.
What? Sorry, I don't. Okay, my bad. I didn't see it.
Damn, that's a classic right there.
Yeah.
Never saw Set It Off.
Classic.
They on some desperate stuff and they started robbing people.
Yep.
Banks and stuff.
I was gonna say, what was the best?
Wait, go down.
Jada Pinkett character.
This.
This was one of them.
This one, yeah.
Sorry,
one of them.
Matrix.
You like
yeah, for me, Captain Iommi in the Matrix is the best.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like that was kind of typical.
Let's debate.
That was a nice.
Who's on what side of that?
I don't know. It was just a
Who would
that was
win?
a
Okay.
movie.
You know, like
Actually, I'll put my money on her winning a death match between all of her other characters. Gritty. I mean, because she's like a ship captain in the military. She could fight.
But she wasn't in all of them though, wasn't she? She was.
No, she was only in the second and third.
How many? Oh, there's 2, right? Or 3? There's 3 Matrix movies, right?
I'm not sure.
There's 10.
It might be 4.
I thought it was in a making for a 4th one.
They said they were making one. Yeah. You see that?
No,
There's like animated ones, and you know.
Oh, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
I played the video game.
Link,
Video game.
Did you play the video game, Justin? Did you play the game?
Yeah, the game was fun.
My brother had a used to play it with.
Yeah, I forgot.
Spot
had
it.
that game. I think that's when I used to play it over there. You can like
That
run up
shit
the
was
walls.
dope
And shoot.
as fuck.
Yeah,
For its time.
My favorite.
I need to stop, cousin. I'm gonna have to edit that out. I'm throwing my hands up so I know where to come back to. But yeah, you know,
I can't even think of some other stuff that she did.
What's our closing take on the whole controversy? I mean, it's not a controversy; it's just the news. You know.
Who cares?
I agree. I don't really care.
You know,
that's basically that.
It's just.
They got money.
I don't know. I feel like she kind of was posing like she was his therapist at first, but it's like, I don't really care if they're having sex with each other. That's on them, you know. That's their life.
Wait, who? So Jada was posing as his therapist?
As more like a mother, you know, kind of helping him go through what he was going through, because he like lost his dad and lost his brother or something, and he was kind of distraught about that. That was the whole Red Table Talk thing, right? No, am I getting the facts wrong?
I didn't watch it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't watch that Table Talk either.
I didn't see it either.
I've been living in a literal cage.
I did not see it either because you have to pay to watch it. That's probably why none of us have seen it. You have to pay.
Go ahead and mosey on to the next one.
Yeah. We don't pay to watch. Guys don't pay to watch things.
Yes, I'm just like, I really don't care. I'm like, if their relationship is ethical and no one's dying,
whoa,
I'm not that interested.
All right, so on to the next topic, double standards, or not really double standards. It's just we're talking about the allegations against Chris D'Elia, the comedian.
Oh,
the girls.
Oh yeah. When we was in the car.
Yes.
Yeah, and we said that those girls should get beat up or something like that.
Yes, not beat up. Something should happen. Right. There should be some retribution. There should be. You shouldn't be able to just accuse people of things and ruin their life.
And just go free.
And you just live in life like nothing happened.
Come on, man.
Must we forget we have a judicial system? Like we could use that.
I mean, I guess. But
yes, that is correct. But I don't know. I'm wondering about the frequency of women who accuse men of things and nothing happens.
Dang, you just don't care about that.
Bye-bye phone. Yes, I'm wondering about that.
Well, I do think. Okay, so I mean, my personal opinion about that is that it probably is growing in prevalence. You know, just like in respect of like total number, because you probably do have more women who are finding themselves in situations in which they could take advantage of people because they're gaining more power. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I guess I would be curious as to like how big of a problem this actually is.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to stuff like this,
to Kevin Hart too. She was trying to.
And it happened to Justin Bieber.
Oh well, Kevin Hart was
and
like
it happened
a false accused thing, but she was trying to blackmail him about their sex tape.
That's the thing. Like,
and
I kind of feel like
Depp.
high-profile cases like this may lend itself towards potentially overblown in numbers. So I'm not saying that it is because I really don't know.
And it happened to the homie in high school. So, some girl accused him of something that he didn't do.
Yeah, and I got another friend.
You know who I'm talking about. Y'all know who I'm talking about, but I'm not gonna say his name.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I feel like we definitely all personally know someone who that's happened to. So I'm not trying to deny that it happened.
I thought the police was.
He was just in the wrong area at the wrong time.
Not the girls.
No. Remember it. He just was around the area.
Yeah. And people said that it wasn't him as well. The police weren't trying to hear that. So he was, being black and stuff.
Clarification.
Yo, Justin, remember when Justin, remember when we was coming from the park and we have this fence to go back to his crib, but then next thing we know, it was like 6 cop cars outside his crib.
Yeah, by Tyrese.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Whoa, I never heard.
Yeah.
Well, maybe I did hear it.
I don't even know if
what were we doing? We were just chilling at the park, right?
No, we were smoking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but we was chilling though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we were okay. So yeah, so when we were done, we were coming back across the street, and then we were like, you know what? Instead of walking all the way around,
that's not how we came.
Oh, that's not how we came?
No, I'm talking like initially, like we came from that way, so we just went back that way.
Yeah, okay, yeah. And then before we know it, it was like flashlights all in the backyard, and it was crazy.
Like deep.
They came deep.
Dang.
Deep.
Mama calls had to answer the door for us and stuff.
Yeah.
Dang, that's crazy.
They came deep, boy.
Why would they? They were there for him.
Wait,
because y'all jumped the wall?
Neighborhood
because
watch.
We quote unquote black, and we was going, and we was 2 black boys hopping into
just hopping fences.
Hopping fences into a backyard.
Oh wow!
It's a wrap.
Oh, we got him. Case closed. We got him.
Ready. You already know.
We caught him red-handed. A cop was probably driving by, and his heart exploded. Like, yes. Just, oh my God, Murphy, did you just see that? We got him.
That was wild.
We had just sit there on the couch letting them talk to them. Like, nah, they ain't about to catch us.
Like, no, they're okay here. This is actually.
No, they had a description and everything. There was 2 people with ponchos on and all.
What?
Oh yeah, we did have our ponchos on. Yeah.
They had us.
Whoa. So do y'all think somebody saw y'all jump and then they called the cops?
Yeah. It was some like neighborhood watch type stuff.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Sure. Wow, somebody tried to get y'all killed.
They tried to get us.
Yeah.
Like, man.
Unless you hear some glass break or something, it's like,
man.
Okay, they're breaking in.
Shoot.
That was just crazy. And that was so fast.
That was fast, boy. Mm-hmm.
It's like someone out front, like loading up.
Right? Hey, we was like sitting on the couch and we was like, what's that light? Yeah. Right? Yeah, we was like, what's that light back there? At first we was like, is that a car? Yeah, but no, it was a flashlight. They was pointing it through the top of the fence. I'm like, what the hell? Then before we knew it, there was somebody knocking on the front door. We said, hold on. Oh, no, man.
I'd have been like, whoa, they really followed us.
Yeah.
I'm like, but it makes sense.
So
we jumped the
wall. We was
wall.
already in the house, though, and we was chilling.
And I'm glad that we didn't try to open the door.
Exactly. Who opened the door? Tyree's mom. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So she was like, no, this is my house.
Mm-hmm. Pictures on the wall and everything.
Yeah. Y'all can go home now.
Y'all can go now.
They good.
Oh man.
That was the world. A photo of the children I'm chasing right there.
The world we live in.
Right.
So, did we talk about what options that there's defamation, right? If a girl alleges that you did something.
If you take the need to,
if you want to go down that route,
I believe there's some. Would that be considered blackmail some way? No.
I feel like it would be considered defamation because it's like he has a monetary loss of like loss of contract, for employment, and it came specifically because of a reputation that he gained from a accusation that a person had made about him that was, I guess, like proven objectively false. If that's the kind of claim he's making. I guess my thing was just saying like I think we have kind of like a venue for him to air his grievance through the court. I'm just curious, like, do judges like not take cases like that? Like, kind of like what, like, why is it kind of like a rising prevalence? Like, is it just people's attention? Is there like a justice apparatus that's malfunctioning? I guess that's kind of why I asked the question. It's not just like, is everybody like just kind of making this shit up? Because like we all just talked about, we all know somebody who's been like falsely accused of something. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I know a lot of women that's been sexually assaulted. Mm-hmm. So, for me, I just kind of try and ask those questions to see a little bit more what people may feel like.
What are the facts? I need the facts and evidence. Facts.
But it sounds like Chris D'Elia came back with receipts. Apparently, he had like a partial, or the original. It sounded like it was just a Twitter account. Like, I'm not too sure if this was, or maybe that, or no, I'm sorry, I'm mixing that up with Justin Bieber. So Justin Bieber had something as well, where he was like a anonymous Twitter account, said that they had like a bad interaction with him. I guess they implied like sexual assault or something like that, and then that like blew up, and then Justin Bieber came back with like receipts and like an alibi, and I guess he was like with someone like his mom or something like that. So he was saying like this is pretty impossible, and I guess he's trying to work with Twitter to try and find out who made the accusation, even though they count as anonymous. So it's like, for me, I guess that's what feels kind of wild, the fact that like an anonymous account can say something like that and then it blows up to that point. I wonder if there should be no kind of means of being able to hopefully try and find some kind of like compensation for that, because that's crazy. If I can just make anything and just say anything about anyone.
I mean, people literally, do that. People do that every day on Twitter.
Yeah, right.
Every day.
Yeah. Twitter is like that.
How many celebrities have been caught in something like that?
Like actually convicted?
Did y'all hear about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard?
No.
She was like accusing him of being abusive to her.
Oh, wait.
And then a recording came out.
She's the abusive person?
And she was being abusive to him, and she was hitting him.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm like,
apparently she was putting this dude through the torture rack. I forgot. I like
torture rack.
I feel like I heard that she shit on his bed.
Whoa.
And I you know what?
I'm not sure about that. I can't confirm or deny that.
Why even speculate?
We have the internet right here.
From the Caucasus Mountains.
But I'm kind of glad I put that in the ether before I confirmed whether or not I'm correct right now.
She was in Aqua.
Oh, yeah, she was in Aqua.
Oh, I've never seen Aquaman. Was it good?
It's pretty good.
I didn't see it either.
It was better than I thought it was going to be.
That's his sister, right? The sister.
No, that's like the love interest in the movie.
Was it?
Yeah.
What do you know? Report. Johnny Depp, Amber Heard.
Wow.
Who left in bed?
Left in bed.
Who left the poo in my bed?
What do you mean they fought over who left it? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Either you or me. It wasn't me. God dog it.
You left the shit.
No, you left the shit. It couldn't have been me. No, it couldn't have been me either.
It was married for 15 months.
Nah, don't give me this.
Oh man, see,
Did
this
your
is guys why you gotta
pop-up
watch
shit.
who you marry.
All right, here
Mm-hmm.
Baby, you just gonna dookie in the bed like that?
Like for real.
we are. Troubled Pirates of the Caribbean star accused Heard of dumping feces as revenge for
Politically correct.
2 hour late to her 30th birthday party in April 2016.
Because he was late to the party.
The Mirror said, but Heard denied the poo accusation and continues to deny it in a statement to the Mirror, blaming the deposit on the couple's Yorkshire Terrier Boo, who had bowel problems. So it was the dog.
It was the dog, huh?
Hey, I get that, man, because sometimes, bro, my dogs
Why did that make
will
them
leave human-sized
Make them
turds, bro.
Exactly.
They're like it's just a perfect storm in their bowels,
Bro.
and they will leave a person-sized.
People
turd.
be bored.
They're just
That's what I'm telling you.
yo.
People be bored.
So you think we're thinking the dog squatted over the bed?
That's what you would hope. Look.
Because hopefully it wasn't her doing it.
I know it's not the outcome we all want, but I think there could be. I think it could be the perfect storm of all the bowel situations being right to leave a Amber Heard side poo on the toilet. Sorry, give me a second. Just run into a little technical trouble here. I guess you can see.
Okay, so I got another question for y'all. Would y'all let y'all girl go on a business trip with her boss that she thinks is attractive? But the only reason you know she thinks that he's attractive is you've seen them around each other.
Yes.
She's never said anything about it.
I would personally.
I would too. But no. I don't know. Yeah, I feel like that wouldn't happen. It might. No, I don't think that would happen. But, you know.
I get you. You just never know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, as long as you are coming back home to me, go. Yes. Woo him. Get that
Woo
business. Yes. I need to not work. You can take care of me. I'm cool. I need a hold on, but I gotta get this camera rose face.
Oh my god!
I need my mortgage paid.
Snap.
So you saying you want her to go get the bag and bring it back to you?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. Let me tell this dad. I'm over here like sounding like I'm an actual pimp. like, yeah, girl, I need
I need you to go get this money.
Right.
Baby? Okay, daddy.
But you said if it was her idea. So
Oh, no, her idea, like, but for business. Okay, something's definitely going on. Like, I know what this is. No, babe, we just really need to take this trip and go do this stuff that we have to do. Like, oh, okay, stuff. Like, I'm gonna need to see the whole business plan, okay? Just email me a PDF of everything that's going on that you guys are gonna be covering. I'll go through it. I'll approve it. Okay.
Bro, I feel like at that point you might as well just say like, so you find him attractive and you want to go to the business trip. Just why even continue to act like you don't know what's going on there?
Yeah.
Like just mask off. Just buck up, my guy. It's okay. It's a rough world out there, but you'll make it through it.
I probably would.
That's my personal advice.
Yes.
I probably wouldn't say all those things that he was saying.
Oh, from the first mention of it, I would say how I felt about it. I'd be like, hold up, wait, what? Like what? Your idea? Oh, okay. She would know exactly how I felt about it. Like, oh, okay.
You ain't trying to get to the bag. That's what you're saying. Okay, sorry. I'm a little distracted
there. All right, so you guys got any topics you want to talk about?
Because you would want that same, like, you know, want it to be reciprocated if you gotta go on some business stuff.
Yeah, and I had like a pretty assistant or something.
Yeah,
gorgeous assistant. I'd be like, she's just the assistant. What? She has a giant butt. I don't want it. What?
Oh snap! Let's get it coats off.
Yeah, like. You need to get another assistant. Yo. Like, you're right. Let me just.
Your wife.
Let me get the Helga.
Before, as you start to develop the thought, your head is off. Bro.
Oh shit.
Okay. So how much time have we gone for?
We are at 48 minutes.
Okay. So, any topics from anyone else, or I'm gonna just keep throwing them out at will.
Throw them out.
Let's see. I mean, we were kind of going down like a little relationship kick there, and then let's see with the other stuff. I guess we were talking more. I guess both of them now have kind of come back to relationships, so maybe something around there.
Snap.
Unless y'all want to talk about more like music or sports or something like that.
Yeah, I was talking about people getting. Go ahead.
Well, I guess we all have different views on social media, and I guess probably.
Speak closer to the mic.
Oh, I guess we all have different views of social media. I guess so. I guess that would be a good one, like the usage of it and what it really means. I guess and determine if it's necessary or not, depending on what you got going on in life.
Oh yeah, I mean, okay. So my personal view, I guess, I guess I have more questions for you. So, are you asking kind of
me?
Yeah,
everyone.
Yeah. So, are you asking more kind of like what place does like social media have on like an individual person, or kind of like a society as a whole?
Society as a whole.
Society. Okay. I think
let's go with both.
Okay, both. All right. So
because we're not all the same and stuff. I get it.
So on the individual level, I feel like it's a tool that can be massively leveraged for good, but it also has a bunch of potential for negatives. So on kind of the societal level, we got to do a lot more mitigation of it than we have been doing. Like when you consider like the amount of engineering that goes into like an app looking a certain kind of way, it's super equivalent and beyond to like a casino slot machine. And we regulate that, and we understand how gambling addiction works and stuff like that. And we barely do stuff with social media. Like one thing I really love, I have this one game where when you play the game, you like go into the level and you're a guy who's like playing and you're trying not to die. And every time that you try and play the game, you use a certain amount of points, and you have like 20 points, and the points only regenerate like 5 points every hour or something like that. So if you play too many times, you have to wait and you have to like take a break. So basically it kind of gives you like a throttle that kind of slows you down, and or just like a limit on how much you can play the game. We need way more features like that, kind of geared towards humane design and like curbing people's addiction towards with like technology use. Just like all so we just need a lot more mitigation for the negative aspects instead of profit motive.
I was about to say, you're stepping on somebody's money saying that, and they're not gonna like that. It was like that's how we make our money, is getting people addicted to these apps, man.
But nah,
I get it though.
Nah, it should be for a good cause though. You can make your money and still do right by people. You still make a lot of money and do right by people.
I agree. But if if there's greed and the company has no moral code or center, it's like they're gonna go after that check.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know.
I agree with that.
Do you think money? I won't say causes, but create happiness, lifetime.
I feel like money can be a tool to help you access happiness, but it's not happiness itself. You know.
Well, I get that.
Because you could have it and just squander it and not know what to do with it and just blow it and just
That's
now you back to.
That's why I had a feeling like when it comes to that, it's what you do with it. I guess like if you got it and you ain't doing nothing with it, then like, you probably don't really care about it that much, or don't think you should have it, or something like one along those type of terms. But if you're doing all the right stuff with it, and I think it should make you happy in some way. That you're not just blowing it or sniffing it.
Yeah. And you got to be careful with that because, like, if the wrong person get a lot of money, that money could kill them.
Yeah.
You know, you could drown in whatever your vice is. Women, drugs, more drugs, alcohol.
They would follow people who like won the lottery, but they're like in poverty after.
Yeah, I watched that too.
I seen that. Seeing how many people just like blow through lottery. Amounts of money. It was just
Have you ever looked into like how to set yourself up if you ever won the lottery? I done that once.
Oh yeah, bro. Oh yeah.
What's that plan?
I feel like any. I was just like, no, but I feel like any well thought of financial plan and strategy should let you know basically like what would happen to you in case of you just randomly coming into money. It's just like if you have your steps, it's like if I know I go step 1 through 10 and I know something's going to boost me step 3 to 5, then I'm just like, okay, so now I'm at 5 and I just move from here. So
well, I feel like I have that already. Like if I came upon a lot of money like that, I have that. Like I would invest in real estate, or kind of save it or invest it in something that is guaranteed return, and not live off of it. Try not to eat off any of it, or eat off minimal amounts of it. If I just came upon a bunch of money.
So I'll say this for finances, when it comes to investment, I feel like people always talk about like financial advice and stuff like that. I feel like one that's really good is that you should not invest until you have savings.
Woo! Who's that? Spot? Yeah. Yo. Hey, it's Spot.
Hey, it's Spot. You just blew a spot in my eardrum.
You just blew our ears out. What?
Is it too late for me to give the password for the $1 million prize?
Yes, we've already given that away.
Yeah, you missed.
Are you sure? Because I wrote it down. It was titty sprinkles.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are you yelling or am I? I can't tell anymore.
I'm sorry. Let me turn the radio down. Hold on. It's titty sprinkles, right? The password is titty sprinkles.
Yeah, the password is titty sprinkles. Come on down to the station.
Gonna head over?
For like an hour and then I'm heading over.
You did what?
All right.
Damn.
All right. But yeah. What were we talking about?
I forgot what that blew out.
Setting yourself up if you ever came into some random.
Oh yes. So I was saying that it's a great idea to always have a savings before you invest, because investing at the end of the day really is smart gambling.
Yeah.
You're just trying to mitigate the risk so that you can make better gambles. But fundamentally, it's always a gamble, no matter how sure you are of this stuff. So you should always have a savings first. And your savings should be at least about a good 6 months of like what's called your burn rate, which is just like the amount of your monthly expenses. So if you're spending like $3,000 a month just to live with your rent and transportation costs and food and everything, then you should have that 3 times 6. So your your $18,000 set aside, or maybe if you want to go the full year, then you have even more. before you start investing. So then, this is the big thing, so that when you do invest, you can actually be in a better psychological place of not feeling very attached to your investment, so that you start making poor decisions with it. Because then it's like, you put in $600 and then the stock tanks, then you're like, shit, you start sweating and you start pulling out money, and then it goes up. And then it's like, if you would have kept your position, you would have made better money. But really, what that really means is, if you weren't as attached to the money, you might have made a better decision and just let it go down, and kind of wait for it to come all the way back. Plus, also, if you just don't trade that well, then at least you're not living off of that money.
I feel like I don't know much about stocks and stuff, but I feel like if you knew about what the company's going through with like the CEOs and like the people who work at the company, then you could kind of predict. And if you knew about like consumers' interaction with the company, how they thought about the company, you could kind of predict if they were going to make money in the future or if they're going to lose money in the future. Like,
Well,
but
you definitely can. So what you're talking about is a general category called fundamentals trading. When it comes to like trying to predict stocks, you have different kinds of ways that people do predict them. And so some people just look at the charts. So they do what's called more like naked trading, or like naked trading with visual assist, because they're looking at the naked chart, which is just numbers, then kind of making their prediction. But other people, they're like a guy who knows business really well. Or let's say if you're like an insider for a cannabis industry, so then kind of how the cannabis industry moves and stuff. So then you invest in that industry. So you got kind of like a fundamental knowledge about that business market. So, you could do something like that. But it's like, again, it's always a risk. Because it's like, okay, so you give me $1 million. I got a great strategy because business stuff and all that. Not just up and die. I'd have a heart attack. Your whole company tanks, and it really happens out there. So, it's that's why I say,
because dudes with that type of money are usually close to heart attack age.
Yeah. So
they're used to
just build strategically. Always have a good footing before you try and step out. And I feel like that's what that mainly embodies. Is just like, don't try and grow too quickly as well, because then sometimes you're not ready for the growth that you're bringing in, and then you lose it. Especially in stocks, that's all that stuff can happen very fast.
I never really got into the stock thing.
Me neither.
Oh man, I think we totally should, man. As long as we have it, I feel like black people should get more into it. But personally, I kind of feel like people should probably overall put less attention on it. Like, as far as like overall, like glory of the thing, it's a useful tool that black people can use right now because we're in like horrible like standing. But if a people wasn't in horrible financial standing, I don't think I would really encourage like large economies to get super interested in stock trading, because at the end of the day, all you're really doing is intelligently looking at charts of value to make strategic decisions of moving around value to then make more money. So then the value in the economy pulls more into that, away from the things that actually have like tangible value, like me building a home or making healthy food or keeping water clean or something like that, which people really need. And then you have like this disproportionate thing where people who do things that aren't really valuable to society make more money than people who do things that are actually valuable to society. Kind of looks like what we got right now, where your food workers make like minimum wage.
Yeah, and the teachers don't make enough.
Yeah, but
and
the stock
police don't get
gets
trained
a bailout
and then get fired randomly and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I was just talking about moms about that. Like, this is like the third time in our generation that like teachers have been getting laid off for financial reasons. Like the recession back when we was in high school, and then it happened when we was in middle school.
I remember they were like, not rioting, but they were like, walking around the school, all the teachers protesting. They were like protesting for their pay and stuff. I'm like, dang.
Right. Now, like I said, third time that didn't happen so far. We're on the third time. I mean, people still don't know how this is about to go when these schools is supposed to open back up and stuff like that. I heard that they're gonna try to do some like every other day type thing. Like you come on Tuesdays and Thursdays and limited seats and stuff like that. It's weird.
Yeah. So dang.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be.
This pandemic is changing things, you know.
Yeah, man, I'm not too sure if there's anything that's really untouched.
Remember when we was talking about the round 2 coming? It started. The round 2 that started.
Last episode we were talking about round 2. I think
they re-shutting stuff down again or stuff like that, and seeing higher surges in places.
Yeah, they're shutting bars down and they're shutting the beach down for 4th of July.
Oh, they shut that down.
So.
Who could have seen this coming?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, schools. So, what y'all think about churches being shut down and not being labeled as essential?
I don't know. I feel like it falls under the whole large group of people, but they should allow them to do how restaurants and everybody else is doing and just have like social distancing.
Yeah, because they've opened up restaurants. I think they said they even opened up. I mean, I haven't been to a movie theater, but I mean, still, I've been to gyms though. They opened up gyms so people can work out.
Yeah, my personal opinion about that is like I feel like they, as long as they're doing like social distancing things, they're not in like super huddled up into a crowd, or if you're taking like reasonable measures, then yeah. Plus, I just feel like overall, the government has been doing a really poor job in discerning like what is really vital to people's mental health, and I would count church is definitely something, and that's as a person who doesn't even go to church. I would count that as something that's vital to people's mental health. I would expect very poor outcomes from my people if I just all of a sudden cut them off from a major thing that has to do with their religion. Like that's not going to go well. And then I heard that they kept liquor stores open. They kept liquor stores open, but made Alcohol Anonymous closed. I'm like, that's horrible. People are gonna relapse so hard. Like, like what you know? What?
Okay, nothing to do for weeks, but the liquor store's open.
So I heard that Japan has like a little over 1,000 cases, and apparently they didn't close businesses. They just mandated mask wearing. So I don't know. I'm really kind of on the fence as far as like what stores should be, as far as like large swaths of industry, what should be closed. But I guess like I can clearly see that there are stores that shouldn't have been open that were closed, and vice versa. Like, and it's really weird to me to see how that's gone really both ways. I've seen people packed in lines, and I'm like, that is horrible. That looks like a hot spot waiting to happen. And then I've seen other stuff where I'm just like, why is this even closed? I barely interact with people in the first place, but here you guys are, and people like need this stuff to survive. Yeah, you know, so. I wish arbitrary. They got the DMV a lot better, you know, to where they didn't just have to close it full blown. It's like people still got to do transportation stuff. People need that for business, but
people need to get their license.
Yeah, exactly.
Are there one thing supposed to be open those back up, like courthouses and DMV and stuff?
Yeah, I remember seeing an email saying that they were going to open back up, but I don't know if they did. And I drive past the DMV like every day right now, and I don't see it open. Yeah.
So what's you supposed to do if when it's time to do your tags and stuff?
Certain things have been pushed back and kind of and been delayed because you can't get to it as quickly, and kind of like what I was saying earlier, I just haven't seen as many cops out on the streets like pulling people over for like traffic tickets as much. And I'm one person, so I can be incredibly biased about, but I drive a lot. And I feel like I've noticed that. So I kind of feel like that's part of it. Plus, like they stopped doing street sweeping tickets in my area.
Really?
So so you can park your car because people are at home all week. People got laid off. It's like you're gonna make people have to move their car as well. Like that's like talk about kicking it down. I mean, honestly, I wouldn't.
But shit, you at home anyway.
Right. Wake up and move that car.
No, bro, I would not put it past.
Now you gotta wake up at like 6 o'clock just to move your car.
That is the worst.
I used to get so many tickets.
You said had to do that.
Yeah. What's worse, street sweeping or putting the trash cans out and missing them, and then you have to like run out with that can?
Street sweeping, because if you miss the trash can, you don't get a ticket for it.
Facts.
You don't have to pay.
Yeah, you just gotta have a full trash can for a week.
Yeah. You just gotta worry about raccoons getting your trash bags.
In my area, it's $50, bro. That's
really?
Yeah, 50 smackaroos.
Well, you got hit with those?
Your career?
I don't remember.
Several of those.
Say any number right now.
Several?
Yeah, it would sound
Several,
like the
bro. I should have a statue.
$63.
I made a nice
Probably.
donation to their cause.
What y'all talking about? We've split into two conversations.
He asked me if I had parking tickets and where I'm at, and I was like, "Oh yeah, several." I was like, "I need a statue in this all that money I done donated to that city in parking tickets."
Yeah, me too. By my parents' house. That shit. That was crazy.
It was street sweeping by your parents' house? It was street sweeping by your parents' house?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And by like a couple of the apartments I lived in. Yeah, street sweeping.
Oh, that's that apartment on Reseda as well?
Mm-hmm.
Dang. You legit had to park on the street over there too, huh? Y'all didn't have no parking spot.
No lot. Which is crazy now that I think about
this
that.
is crazy what you said.
Now that I have one. It's like, dang.
What? Like even that spot across the street from Transfers had a parking lot, and that was
it was the rinky dinky little spot, and it had its own parking spot. I was like, all right. I think we had a couple spots.
Yeah. We just parked on the street because Darian and her sister parked in there.
Mm-hmm.
Them young amenities.
Yep.
Those were times right there. Those were some times.
All right, we're coming up on hour 9 right now.
All right, so thank you for rocking with us for this long. I like to keep a current, consistent amount of videos coming out about current topics. You gotta get the hand movement in there when you address the things,
man. I mean,
because it makes it more poignant. So
we gotta throw in some.
Thank
some
you.
Money stacks.
Please like, please subscribe, please like and subscribe and comment. Thank you.
Hit the bell notification.
Again, I'm KO. This is
JD.
Rob. Thanks.
Yeah.
Deuces.
What's that?
Uh-oh.
My retina.